is on the Star Wars Black Series 6-inch scale Darth Maul action figure from Hasbro. This is figure number 2 out of the initial wave of figures. We've got the same package design as we've seen on the other figures. It is minimalistic, just a plain black package with orange piping inside. We've got a drawing of the character here in black and white, the Star Wars Black Series logo. One completely black panel on this side, and a clear view into the figure on the other side. The figure's laid out inside with all the accessories you can see. Top panel has the same Black Series logo, image of the character. This can just be cut open, and you can slide off the tray, get your figure out, look at him, and then put him back away if you decide to do it that way. The back of the package has an image from the film that's been converted into a black and gray look, with the detailing kind of muted. Darth Maul's little bio says, "The evil Sith apprentice Darth Maul engages in fierce lightsaber duel with Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi." And then we've got a quote from Darth Maul that is, "At last we reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge." And so there that is. So let's take a look at him one more time here from the front before we take a look at the loose version. Alright, so here we have Darth Maul out of the box. We're going to go through the accessories and everything first before we take a look at the articulation on the figure. Let's start with the lightsaber. Got the double-bladed Darth Maul special here. We'll talk about this more in the couch review, but you can pop these blades out of here. Oh, there we go. And have just the hilt, which can split into two to do the whole episode 1 cut in half thing. And it actually has like a notched thing in here, so that way when you plug it together, it's not going to go spinning around and looking all funky with like the buttons on one side and not on the other side or whatever. There's that. Then we've got his little binoculars here. These are kind of tough to make out in the video. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can hit the info section and it'll take you to a link on StarWarsBlackSeries.net that'll give you close-up pictures of all this stuff that you can kind of look at for a better view. The video portion really is just kind of to talk about the figure and not really give you so much detailed shots. Next up is this rubbery cloak piece, which can go on over the figure. It has an attached head that just plugs on. You yank off the existing head, plug this guy on, and then put the arms to these rubbery hole pieces here. It's really soft rubber so that it can get on the figure and not really interfere with the articulation too much. Again, we'll talk about that more during the couch review, though. Here we have the figure itself from the front. And then, if he doesn't fall down, we'll take him all the way around to the back. So you can see all the sculpted folds and detailing in the body. Just really nice overall. Let's take a look at this articulation. He's got these nice sort of Marvel Legends style rocker boot or rocker feet joints here. And then it's got up and down ankle joints, and then that rocker is really nice. He doesn't have a boot swivel. He has the swivel at the top of the hip, but no swivel at the top of the boot, which Luke has. And he's got the double jointed knee, the top swivel, which I've already mentioned, and then a ball joint under that. And this rubbery skirt piece makes it really easy to move these joints around. It's a combination of both rubbery pieces for the sash that comes down, and then a sort of almost like netted material. It's a thin material to keep the articulation preserved underneath there, I guess is the right way to say it. Then he's got this great ball jointed hip, which is hidden really well, and it looks just great from so many angles. It's just a really, really well done joint. I'm going to back this up just a little bit. It's a remarkable joint. It just looks great from so many different angles. Awesome articulation there. Then he's got ball jointed shoulders, a ball jointed elbow, so it moves all around, then up and down. And then he's got, I think it's up and down. Yeah, just like Luke, it's at 2 different wrist joints. The right moves up and down, and his left joint moves in and out. And then he's got the ball jointed head, which pops off. It goes up and down, then moves all over. He's a little tough to stand, so with all that moving around, sometimes it's a little tough to get him going. So there he is, standing there, and we'll put up a couple of the other figures from the Black Series to give you a better idea of his height and scale. Here we have Luke. Don't fall, Luke. And then we've got the tallest figure of the bunch, the Sand Trooper. So Darth Maul falls right in the middle, especially if you take off Luke's helmet. Which I'm not so sure if that's correct, because Ray Park is a pretty short guy. So I think he's more in the same height range as Luke. I don't think he should be taller, but if you get him into those little crouching fighting poses and things like that, you won't notice the scale as much. So there he is. Now let's grab him up and we'll take him over to the couch and we'll do our review. Hey everybody, welcome to another Toy Talk review. These are for StarWarsBlackSeries.net. We do have the domain all taken care of. Google came through. So now we have a site that's completely devoted to these figures. So now we have MotuFigures.com, devoted to Motu stuff. ActionFeatures.net, which is the catch-all. 1989Batman.com, and StarWarsBlackSeries.net. Those are kind of our 4 blog type things. And then a PCAction.net, which is my Star Trek blog.
Right.
And I think that's it. Right?
Did you say 1989 Batman?
Yeah. So as you saw in the opening intro, this is the second figure that we're reviewing out of the initial wave of Star Wars Black Series figures, and it happens to be figure number 2, Darth Maul. We talked about the packaging before a little bit, and we talked about it a little in the intro. It's really cool in that it's minimalistic. There's not a whole lot of crazy flashiness going on, but the best part for me is that you can open these things up, take them out of the tray, pose the figure around, do whatever you want to do, and then put it back in and close it back up, and the only way you can tell that it's been opened is by cutting the tape.
Right.
Which is awesome for people that want their stuff in box and want stuff loose. You don't have to buy 2. It's kind of cool that Hasbro didn't do it in a different way, because this makes it so that if you want to open one up, you don't ruin the package.
Hasbro's done like some pretty crazy packaging.
Yeah, they have, and you know, most figure lines nowadays, you have to open the, you have to like destroy the package to get a figure out,
and then you have to cut some wires after that.
Exactly, or you have to get 2.
Rip some tape off.
Yeah, one to keep sealed and one to open up. This makes it so you really only have to get 1. So Darth Maul, we explained the articulation already in the opening sequence, so we're just going to talk about the figure itself now. Start with the accessories. He comes with his binocular things from Episode 1, where he's looking out at the over Mos Eisley and or Mos Espa, I guess it is.
I just wanted to say one thing. The Black Series has really kind of made me realize how much I've liked Star Wars, because it's been kind of, I've been watching the movies over again.
Yeah, it's really cool that the series, the figures have kind of reawakened it. Like it's like, man, I really did love Star Wars, you know? It's almost like the we said this in the last video, but it's almost how the 1995 line did for me when it reawakened my love of Star Wars. I've always loved Star Wars, but it really kind of brought it back to the forefront, like, man, I love some Star Wars, especially the classic trilogy.
Well, there was still Star Wars coming out when the one line came out, the 19...
Oh, yeah, the prequels aren't even out yet when the 1995 line started.
Oh, was it? Not even the first one?
No, that didn't come out until 1999. Alright, so that's the macros. It's kind of a cool accessory. It's neat that they added in it. It's definitely not something that's necessary, but it's cool that they throw in an extra accessory, just to throw in an extra accessory. They could have done his little flying droid things or something like that.
That would have made it probably more expensive.
Exactly, it would have been too much, especially when you consider the cloak piece that comes with this. So this little tiny thing is just a nice little add-on. It's got a lot of paint apps on it. It's got a gold paint app, red, black, and it's a nice little detailed piece. You can get it into his hands, so he's holding it like this, but I haven't tried to get it up to his eyes. I don't think it would work out with the cloak piece. The lightsaber comes in 2 pieces to simulate the Obi-Wan cutting it in half from the end of the film. Spoiler warning. And those just plug together. One piece plugs into the other one, and it forms the full double-bladed lightsaber. The blades pull out on this on both sides, so that way you can do an unlit saber if you want, or do, you know, one lit up like he was when he battled
Qui-Gon?
Qui-Gon, yeah, when they were jumping into the ship. Good memory. He can just do 1 lit up, or he can do 2 lit up. It's really cool. And with the same with the Luke lightsaber, I don't feel like it's going to break off.
I like the 2 lightsaber because it's kind of his special thing.
It's unique, yeah, and it was so cool when that happened in Episode 1. Everybody's like, whoa, a double-bladed lightsaber. Now lightsabers have gotten crazy and crazy and crazy. Grievous had like 16 lightsabers and everything else.
Grievous was weird. I mean,
I liked Grievous.
He was kind of cool, but he was kind of weird.
He was kind of strange.
He was cool and weird. He was both.
I would like him in this line though. I would really like him in this line.
They'll end up doing him.
Now I've mentioned this in the articulation, but I have to say it again that this ball joint on the torso is one of the nicest joints I've ever seen on a figure.
Some figures it wouldn't work on, but I like it for like.
Go ahead.
I really am kind of having trouble saying. That's why I paused.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of having trouble explaining.
You really like it for this character?
Right. Like, for all the Star Wars people, it seems like it worked. Because, like, they're doing the flips and stuff. And
yeah, a lot of the ones that move all around like that. Well, it's also neat too that they're putting it in places that's hidden. It's not like so like in your face. With the Luke X-wing, it's hidden, you know, in the design of the outfit. With Darth Maul, it's hidden inside the design of the outfit. So it's not this big ugly joint right there. It's just really well hidden. All of his joints are well hidden, in my opinion. It really does a good job of hiding things. And he's got this like skirt piece on here, which is part plastic and with soft rubbery stuff, and then part cloth. So his articulation around his legs is not hindered at all by it. And that's really, really nice to have a figure that can move around and not be hindered by the outfit.
I don't know why, but I'm just kind of throwing this out here. I kind of imagine them letting Yoda out in a 2-pack with Luke, like where he could get on like that backpack thing.
If they do, I'm sure they're going to do Yoda, but they're going to have to add a lot into Yoda to make him worth the money.
See, I think here's what they should do. They could kind of make it so it fits into like a backpack type thing.
Yeah, that would be cool. It's going to be tough to figure out how they're going to do Yoda. With Darth Maul, there's not a lot of paint apps going on. He's got pretty much a solid black outfit. They do mix between like a glossier plastic and a glossy black paint and like a flat paint. And then all the paint apps really are in the head between the red and the horns. The horns, I think, are well done. They're maybe not the most detailed things in the world, but they're really tiny. But when you get into the facial details, like the tattoos and his eyes especially, you can actually see like the Sith eyes painted on there. And it's so nice when you get really up close to it to be able to see those Sith eyes really painted well.
Can I see?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that is cool. So if I ever did get into this line, I'd buy mainly just original trilogy stuff. And there's a chance I would buy some Phantom Menace, because that was my favorite of the...
My favorite of the prequels was Phantom Menace as well. Darth Maul, okay, when it was first announced, I was least excited about Darth Maul, because I'm like, I really like the classic trilogy. But if I'm going to get prequel guys, Darth Maul would be one of the ones I'd want the most. Because Darth Maul was really cool in Episode 1.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite things about the prequels.
Yeah, of the new villains introduced of the prequels, he and Jango Fett, I think, are the strongest.
Yeah.
But he may be my favorite visually and just character-wise. I wish they would have carried him all through all 3 movies instead of killing him off in the first one.
Here's how I hated it. Even though they did it, they brought him back in Clone Wars, and
I didn't want to talk about that.
I don't like how they...
Yeah. I really... it may have been a good story, but I'm just like, that's just too much. Yeah. You know what I mean? Okay, so anyway, the paint on his head I think is really clean and nice. I have one little paint rub of red on the shoulder, which I have no idea how that got there.
If I ever get it, I'll trade you.
That's no big deal, man. I don't mind that little paint rub. I appreciate it, though. That was very nice of you. So other than that, though, it's a really solid, clean paint app. And you know what I just noticed?
Yes.
And I didn't notice this when I did the pictures, and I wish I would have, is that he's got a little plug on his belt that this will plug into. I'm going to have to take a picture of it just for that. So it actually can hold his belt on his lightsaber hilt on the belt.
That is cool.
And I'm just noticing that as I do the review. And I was just thinking like, oh man, it was cool that Luke had the little hanging thing. But Darth Maul's got it too. You can plug it into his belt. That's so cool.
I bet a lot of the Jedi's going to have that. And then,
a way to hold their hilt?
Well, then again, I bet all of them are going to have it because the gun should have like a holster.
Yeah, a lot of the holsters will work too. I'm trying to keep track of everything we're talking about, and I keep losing my train of thought. So the face sculpt itself, I think, is really good too. It's really a great likeness for Ray Park as Darth Maul. Now we want to talk about this extra piece to replicate both looks for Darth Maul, and that's the cloaked piece. And Hasbro did something really inventive and really cool with this, in that they did a whole separate head that's permanently fused inside this rubbery overlay.
Which I think is really cool.
It works so well. You pop off the existing head, and then you get his arms into the rubbery piece. And this cloth is, not the cloth, but the outfit is really rubbery, so that way it still is a pretty articulated figure underneath there. You work all that over, and you, hang on one second, bud, and you pop this head on, and this head is kind of fused inside there, but you still get some movement in the head. It may not hold the pose so well, but it still can move around. And it just is a really good look the way it's kind of plastered onto there. And as you can see, I'm still moving him around and everything, and it's not, the cloak isn't hindering it too much. And so it was a great way of replicating both looks without a cloth cloak that's not going to get the look that you want, or having to buy 2 figures, which is one of the ways they did it originally in the Episode 1 line. There was a cloaked Darth Maul and a non-cloaked Darth Maul. But this way you can get both looks for the character out of one piece, and they both look as if this figure was made to look like this.
I prefer non-cloaked.
I do too. Was that what you were going to say?
No.
Okay, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I normally don't like rubber overcoats, but I think it works better for this.
It works really well.
And I think it would be kind of weird if they did a cloth overcoat that you had to put on it.
Yeah, well, there was, in the original line, when Episode 1 line came out, there was an accessory pack where you could get a cloak to put on your Darth Maul.
Oh.
It was fabric, and it worked okay, but the way this cloak kind of lays around him, you almost have to do it sculpted.
Right.
And so that the fact that they did it sculpted, but made it so that it's a separate piece that you can add on yourself if you want to have this look, is awesome. And it really adds to the bang for your buck, as opposed to Luke, which I really like the Luke figure, but the $20 for that when all you're getting is the helmet, the lightsaber, and a gun, and R2 especially, where you're getting a little R2 unit with all the other pieces, that $20 makes it hard. This one, though, you're getting the double-bladed lightsaber that splits apart, has removable blades, the macros, and the cloak with the fused-in head. It really, that $20 becomes a little less painful.
He's the best of them.
I would have to say, even though he's not my favorite character of the bunch, I think this is the best figure of the batch. And if you're hesitant to buy this because it's a prequel character, I would think, man, just take the gamble at $20, and this is just a great figure. Period.
The three prequel guys I'd probably be willing to buy is Jango Fett, him, and if they made a Qui-Gon, I would buy it.
I would love a Qui-Gon.
Yeah, Qui-Gon was my favorite of the good guys.
Me too. I really liked Qui-Gon a lot. Man, we're on the same page. Like, I would really... Those are probably my top 3 of the prequels. Is Qui-Gon, Jango Fett, and Darth Maul. I wouldn't mind...
Fett wasn't that cool.
Yeah, he wasn't that cool. We are going to be getting Episode 3 Anakin and Obi-Wan. Well, definitely Episode 3 Obi-Wan in Wave 3. And maybe Episode 3 Anakin in Wave 3. He may be pushed into Wave 4. Who knows? But those are essential characters if you're going to have the prequels. I just don't want them to go overboard on the prequel characters.
I mean, sure, they'd have to make an Anakin, but since... I mean, they had to do him for the movies to explain Vader.
Where he came from.
Right, but I just wasn't a huge fan of Anakin
I'm not a huge fan either, you know, of the way they played out the character. Right. But that's something we can talk about when we get to Anakin.
And then, I just wanted to say this. The reason I like the third Obi-Wan the best is because you can sort of see him starting to form into the older Obi-Wan.
He did. Ewan McGregor did a great job of transitioning that Obi-Wan, and his Obi-Wan I really don't have much problems with in the prequels. I think Obi-Wan's great too. So I'm looking forward to having an Obi-Wan prequel figure. But
I either prefer the third movie or the first movie Obi-Wan. I think.
Oh, Obi-Wan? Yeah, Episode 2 I didn't really care for very much at all. But overall, Darth Maul is a great release. Please don't just judge it based on the fact, oh, it's a Darth Maul, I don't want that. Darth Maul's crazy. Darth Maul was everywhere. He was kind of everywhere for Episode 1, but this really is just a solid, great action figure. Just really cool sitting on your shelf, cool design of a character. You know, take your mind back to Episode 1, back before it was released, and all the hype, and how excited you were about Darth Maul, and let this Darth Maul figure represent that feeling. You know what I mean? Alright. So we're going to sign off on this one. I don't know what numbered figure was next. I think R2 was number 3. I can't remember. Was the Sand Trooper number 3? Or was R2 number 3? Here's the package. What's it say on the front of the Sand Trooper package?
The Sand Trooper says...
It's at the bottom, here. Number 4? Does it say number 4? Number 3. So the Sand Trooper's next.
Okay.
Since we're just going to just do them in the order they came out, I just threw some stuff. So we'll do the Sand Trooper next. I don't know if we'll get to it this week. Might be on the weekend or something.
Right.
We had a really busy weekend. So we're going to sign off on this one, and we'll see you guys next time.